Short story number 1, Providing Care. By Matthew McKenzie. Shelia was happy today. The day went perfectly. An excellent day out with friends. The sun was shining and everyone was having a laugh. It had been a difficult time for Shelia. She had a hard time at work. The workload was increasing, and Shelia struggled to keep on top of things. Shelia's friends noticed this and asked her to come out. "Just forget the troubles," they said. "Let us just have a great day and have some fun." It worked, and Shelia is sitting at home remembering how great the day went. Nothing could have been perfect. Of course, Shelia is wondering what things will be like at work again. It was only Friday, but what the heck, Shelia had 2 more days to relax. Shelia reached for the TV remote and flicked over to her favorite channel. Her drama was about to come on, but there were the usual adverts to get through. Shelia took the cup of tea in both her hands to feel warm and took a sip. She felt good, and the warm tea went inside. "Hey there." Tom poked his head around the door.
"Oh. Hi, Tom. How are things?"
Shelia replied, looking surprised.
"I did not see you creep in."
Shelia replied as she looked at Tom. Tom looked tired, his eyes worn and his hair in a mess. Tom was wearing his pajamas, and they were as ragged as him. Shelia noticed Tom was not focusing much on her, and it seemed like he was looking almost past her. Shelia asked,
"Tom? You still there?"
Tom was quiet for a moment, struggling to regain his composure. Tom gulped and blinked his eyes. "Oh, sorry." Tom spoke as he walked slowly towards Shelia.
"What's up with him?"
Shelia thought. Shelia began to frown and did not take her eyes off Tom. Tom suddenly stopped walking towards Shelia, but it still seemed he was not looking at Shelia, but past her.
"Tom?"
Shelia asked. No response as Tom just stood there.
"Tom? You okay, Tom?"
Shelia asked quietly. Tom again shook himself out of his thoughts. He blinked rapidly and then turned around quickly and walked out. Shelia thought she might get up and follow Tom as he walked out of the room. She then suddenly changed her mind and looked at the TV.
"What's going on?"
Shelia thought to herself.
"Now I think my day is ruined. Why is he acting this way? It is like he has not even got out of bed, and it is 6 in the evening."
Shelia thought to herself while ignoring the TV.
"No, that's it."
Shelia thought. Shelia suddenly got out of the chair and quickly walked out of the front room to search for Tom.
"Tom? Tom?"
Shelia called out to Tom. As Shelia poked her head around the door, Tom was not downstairs or in the kitchen.
"He must be upstairs."
Shelia thought. She rushed upstairs, trying not to make too much of a noise.
"Tom? You okay, Tom?"
Shelia asked as she opened the bedroom door. Straight away, she could see Tom's back to the door, and he was in bed but not asleep. Tom did not turn to face Shelia as she stood by the door.
"Tom, what's going on? Are you unwell?"
Shelia asked again. Tom did not respond. His back was still towards Shelia as he lay on his side in the bed. Shelia stood there watching Tom for what seemed like an eternity. There was still no response from Tom, and Shelia just decided to walk out of the room and slowly walk downstairs, hoping Tom would rush out after her. As Shelia reached the bottom of the stairs, she heard Tom speak.
"It's okay, love. I was just checking on something."
Shelia stopped at the bottom of the stairs and shouted back.
"Checking on what, Tom? Are you okay?"
"Yes, I am okay. I'm just resting. You go watch your film."
"I am going to watch my drama. I am not watching any film."
Shelia responded.
"Well, go watch that then."
Shelia began to worry. She did not know what to think of it, and suddenly felt something was wrong. This was unlike Tom, her husband of 4 years. Tom was always active and full of energy. Whatever Tom did, it always made sense. Tom was her rock, and now it seemed Tom was unsure of himself. Shelia did notice Tom sleeping heavily last night, and then suddenly woke up as if disturbed by a nightmare. Shelia thought nothing of it, but Tom's behavior was a cause for concern this time. A tear slid down Shelia's cheek as her emotions got the better of her. She could feel that cold tear, and she quickly wiped it away as she walked back to the living room. She sat back down quickly and turned the volume down on the TV. She wanted to see if she could hear if Tom was moving around upstairs. If Tom did not tell her anything, then maybe she could hear Tom and check his actions. The last thing Shelia paid attention to was the TV. It was silent and fast approaching 9 o'clock. Shelia heard nothing and felt that Tom must have gone to sleep.
"Sod that, I am going back upstairs,"
Shelia thought. She turned off the TV, turned off the lights, and quietly walked back upstairs to the bedroom. Everything was dark, and she could just about see Tom's outline in the bed, and he had not moved from that spot since they last spoke. Shelia undressed quietly and crept into bed.
"Tom,
Whispered Shelia.
are you awake?"
Nothing, not a sound, but Shelia was not stupid. She knew Tom was not sleeping. Even though his head was turned away from her, she could see that he was still awake, but it was like he was staring at something. Shelia lifted her head to determine what Tom was looking at, and it was no use. It was too dark, and she could not see a thing.
"Tom,
Shelia whispered again. There was no response. Shelia slowly laid her head down back on the bed. She faced the ceiling as she stared into pitch black. Shelia could not close her eyes. She was so worried. She was worried for herself, worried for Tom. She again lifted her hand and brushed aside a tear.
why me?
Shelia thought to herself.
This day was going okay. I did what my friends asked of me."
Shelia smiled as she remembered her chat at the restaurant with her friends. They were all gossiping about someone's latest boyfriend. She felt happy again, but only for a short while. Shelia peered over to Tom, and his back was still turned. Shelia slowly put her arm around Tom's side and cuddled him. Still no response, but Shelia did feel Tom was breathing. Shelia felt safer. She wondered if Tom would push her away, but he didn't. That could mean that Tom still loved her. That is all that Shelia wanted. She just wanted to feel safe. It was the only thing she felt she had left in the world. The love of her husband, the love of Tom. With her thoughts of safety, Shelia slowly fell asleep. The following day, Shelia woke up, and Tom was up. He was just standing there, looking out of the window. The curtains were open, and it was so bright that Shelia put her arm over her eyes as she looked at Tom.
"Oh, you're awake. Do you want breakfast?"
Said Shelia. Tom did not reply as he continued to stare outside the window. The outside light did not seem to blind Tom. He just kept staring outside.
"Tom?
Shelia asked again.
Oh, Tom, what is wrong? You have been playing up like this for a while now. Speak to me."
Shelia complained.
I think someone is looking at me from outside.
Tom mumbled.
"What?
Sheesh, be quiet, he can see us.
Who can see us, Tom?"
Shelia began to look frightened, and her heart quickened. She got out of bed. It was slightly cold in the room, but she did not care. She went over to Tom to look outside, but all she saw were cars going past.
"I don't see anything, Tom."
Shelia complained. Tom just stared outside. Shelia sat back on her bed, looking distraught. Her hands clasped together as she wondered what to do. She was despaired and wanted the bed to swallow her whole.
"No,
Shelia thought to herself.
just no."
Shelia hurriedly got dressed and rushed out the door.
"I will be back in a bit."
She searched for her keys and phone, which seemed to take ages. Then with a slam of the door, she was out. The fresh air hit her, but she felt awake. She turned to look back up to see Tom staring out the window, but this time he was looking at her, and he looked perplexed. Shelia quickly got into her car and started the engine. She turned one more time to look at the house, and Tom was still looking outside. Shelia took a deep breath and drove off. 10 minutes later, she was at her local GP surgery. She rushed inside and waited in the queue. Not many people were in the queue for Saturday, so that was a bit of luck for Shelia. She felt impatient as it took a while for the receptionist to speak to those booking appointments. Someone complained about medications, and another wanted to see another doctor.
Oh, hurry up.
Shelia thought to herself. It was not long before Shelia was at the receptionist.
I want to book the earliest appointment, or if possible, could I have a house visit?
Shelia asked the receptionist. The receptionist looked up at Shelia.
Oh, I have not seen you for a while. Let me check the schedule to see who is free.
Yes, maybe that's a good thing. I have kept myself healthy for a while.
The receptionist laughed politely.
Okay, what seems to be the problem?
It is my husband. He is acting strangely, and I think it is something with his mind. It has been days now, and if I could get a visit, an assessment could be done.
Right, okay. I will let the doctor know. Is your phone number still the same?
Yes, ending with 7341.
Okay, still the same, thank you. We will call you by today.
You mean a doctor can come out, right?
Shelia smiled in disbelief.
Yes, but I just need to double check with him.
Shelia thanked the receptionist as she walked out. She then stopped to look at some leaflets, one of which was on mental illness. She took one and put that in her handbag. As she headed back to her car, she quickly took her mobile phone out of her bag to call her friend. But in the back of her mind, she was wondering if the receptionist would call straight away.
No, that's silly, not that soon.
Shelia thought. Shelia sat in the car and began to ring her friend. Still, she had to keep correcting the number due to being frightened and nervous about the whole experience. After a few attempts, the number dialed through.
Hi, Shelia. How are ya?
A cheerful voice replied.
Donna, are you in a quiet place? I don't want this to get out.
Asked Shelia.
Wait a minute.
The phone went silent for a couple of seconds, and Shelia overheard that Donna was moving to another room.
Okay, Shelia, what's up?
You mean what's down?
Shelia moaned.
What do you mean?
It's Tom.
What do you mean?
Something is not right. It's like he is not his usual self.
Shelia complained, hoping passers-by would not hear her inside the car.
Well, would you like to tell me more?
Donna queried.
It's like he has been tired all the time. He does not hear me well. Yesterday I swore he saw me while watching TV, but when I spoke to him, he did not respond much.
Sounds like he needs to go to the doctor, darling.
Well, oddly enough, I am just coming from there. I have booked an appointment. Oh. What am I going to do?
Shelia said as she burst into tears. Donna was silent as she gave time for Shelia to sort herself out.
You are doing the right thing.
How do you mean, Donna?
You booked the appointment, and now you are confiding in me. Do not worry, and I won't mention this to anyone.
Donna spoke.
Thank you, Donna. Look, I better get back. It's just I did not want Tom to overhear us talking. Can I call you later?
Of course, do not worry. I will make myself available.
Donna replied. Shelia put the mobile back in her pocket and sat in the car. She kept wondering what would happen next. She looked outside to see children playing outside the GP surgery. They looked happy and carefree. Shelia thought if only she could be young again, nothing to worry about, no responsibilities.
No, I have got to get back,
Shelia said. And with that, she headed off in her car, trying to keep her patience not to speed up. Soon Shelia was home, and she parked her car. As she got out of her car, she looked at the house window to check if Tom was still staring outside, and there was no one there. At first, Shelia felt relieved, but then she began to panic. Perhaps Tom was doing something else. Shelia rushed towards her front door, fumbling for the house keys. With her nerves jangling, putting the key into the keyhole took a while.
Damn it.
Shelia struggled to open the door.
Tom?
Shelia shouted as she unlocked the door.
Yes.
A voice came from nowhere.
Where are you?
Shelia shouted again as she peered upstairs.
In here.
Tom replied. Shelia could hear that he was in the front room.
Make sure you close that door quickly.
Tom ordered quietly.
Why? What's wrong?
Just close the door.
Tom whispered from inside the living room.
Okay, it's closed. What are you worried about, honey?
Tom did not respond. He was just sitting on the sofa, resting his chin on his hands, lost in thought. He still seemed a mess.
Tom, I am sorry, but I thought I booked a doctor to see you. I am worried.
Shelia spoke with frustration in her voice. Tom did not say anything, but he nodded in response.
You are okay with that, Tom?
Shelia asked.
Yes, something is not right. I don't know. It is not right.
Tom spoke, lost in thought. Shelia rushed over to Tom.
Oh, Tom, I love you. It's just I am so worried.
I know, I just am not sure.
As Tom let Shelia put her arms around him as she sat down on the sofa. Shelia cuddled Tom, who did not react, but again she could not help but think of the distress and despair. Shelia looked at the TV, which was not on, and began to think about what could pass the time. She was worried Tom might go outside and get lost or have an accident, and she especially did not want Tom to miss the doctor's house call.
Tom, I think the doctor is coming here, okay?
Shelia said, looking up at Tom. Tom did not respond, still lost in thought. He looked distraught.
Hey, look, I'm going to turn the TV on. Let's wait for her for a while. Maybe something good is on.
Okay.
Tom spoke. With a quick flash, Shelia grabbed the remote and turned the TV on.
Anything you want to watch?
Shelia asked.
Anything is fine, something to take my mind off things.
Okay, darling.
Shelia turned to the sports channel. Tom always liked football, and Shelia was not fond of it, but if that was on, then she knew it would calm Tom down. Tom would watch the TV and not wander around. After the football show finished, Tom stood back up.
Where are you going, Tom?
Tom then suddenly sat back down only to get back up off the sofa.
Tom?
Shelia asked.
I am going toilet.
Tom spoke. His words seemed to carry no emotion, but Shelia noticed Tom was becoming unsure of himself, as if he was relying on Shelia. Shelia watched Tom walk out of the room, and she did not follow him and wanted Tom to trust that she would not follow him around. Tom returned fairly quickly and sat back down on the sofa. Shelia was relieved, but just then her mobile phone rang. Shelia looked at the phone, startled and unsure how to answer it.
I am just going to answer my phone.
Shelia said to Tom.
Why do you need to tell me? It's your phone.
Shelia felt sad that Tom did not seem to care. She picked up the mobile and placed it to her ear.
Hello, is this Shelia? It's Dr. Carlson.
Yes, it's Shelia. You coming to visit?
Yes, the receptionist passed me the details. It will be an hour. Hope you do not mind.
It's okay, we are just watching TV.
Okay, expect me to knock on the door or something.
Shelia put the mobile in her pocket and cuddled back up to Tom. Tom was her rock, her safety net, something for her to be sure about herself, but now the role was changing. No matter how hard she clung to Tom as she hugged him, it seemed that she was hanging on as if not to lose Tom. It seemed as if Tom would not be relying on Shelia, and that Shelia would be his rock. The problem was, would Tom know about this? Would Tom understand this strange condition?
Whatever is found out from Tom, I just hope it is not permanent.
Shelia thought.
Have you eaten, Tom?
Shelia looked up at Tom.
Oh, you are right. I have not eaten for a while. Perhaps something might be in the food.
What would be in the food?
Shelia sighed as she slowly walked out of the room. Shelia brought back a sandwich and a can of Coke. She slowly passed the items to Tom, who stared at the food. Tom reached out for the food and put the can on the coffee table. He then looked at the sandwich and slowly took a bite. Shelia looked at Tom in surprise, as if wondering what to do. She tried to hide her tears because she knew this instant Tom would struggle to trust anything. He would struggle to trust her. She did not want to panic Tom, so she turned her head away from him and let her tears slowly slide down her cheeks. She sniffed quietly, hoping Tom would not hear. Just then, she heard the can of Coke being opened. She did not turn around because she knew her face was red with all that crying. She wiped her eyes again and slowly turned around as Tom struggled to eat his good. Shelia did not cuddle up to Tom while watching the TV. Shelia did not say anything else because she felt Tom would hear the anguish in her voice. She sat on the sofa next to Tom, staring at the TV. What was strange is Tom did not react as he was busy struggling to eat and drink the can of Coke. It was as if Tom did not want to disappoint Shelia. Still, whatever was going on in his mind was proving difficult for him to trust anything. Just then, the doorbell rang.
Who is it?
Tom snapped. Shelia got up.
I will just be a moment. It is probably the doctor, don't worry, everything will be all right.
Shelia rushed to the front door and opened it. It was Dr. Carlson who looked at Shelia.
Shelia, right?
Yes, doctor, you got the right house. Tom is in the front room.
Shelia spoke quietly. In the back of her mind, Shelia regretted calling the doctor, and she was unsure what the outcome would be. Would Tom just quietly sit there and be questioned by the doctor? What else could Shelia do? She just had to prepare for the worst. The doctor walked quickly into the front room, with Shelia following.
Tom? He is here, Dr. Carlson. Everything will be okay.
Shelia said. Tom just looked up at Dr. Carlson with a blank stare. The doctor could clearly tell by Tom's reaction that something was not right. The doctor spoke to Tom.
Mind if I put my kit by the sofa? I am just going to sit down and ask you some questions, okay?
Tom nodded, feeling slightly worried.
I don't know what's going on, Drive. I am so confused. I think I am sick.
Tom replied.
It's okay, Tom. You don't mind if I call you Tom, by the way.
I don't care.
Tom responded as he looked down at the floor.
Listen, Tom, how long have you been feeling this way?
The doctor asked.
I can't remember.
Okay, Tom, do you know what day it is today?
The doctor questioned again.
I can't remember.
The doctor queried as he looked up at Shelia. Shelia looked back at the doctor with a worried look on her face. Her eyes were wide open, and she was unsure what to say.
I see you are eating. That's your sandwich, right? Have you been sleeping okay?
I have not slept in days. The food doesn't taste right.
Okay.
The doctor then looked at Shelia. He whispered to her.
How has Tom's sleeping pattern been?
Shelia looked at the doctor.
I am not sure. He has not been dressed for a while. He did go to bed, but I am wondering if he has been sleeping. That right, Tom?
The doctor then looked at Tom with a concerned look.
Are you currently on any medications?
Tom replied slowly, looking down at the floor.
I don't remember.
Tom, do you want to rethink what the doctor is saying?
Shelia interrupted. The doctor quickly looked back at Shelia.
It's okay, don't worry. Okay, would it be all right if you were to go to the hospital?
Asked Dr. Carlson. This time Tom did not respond.
How about if I called the ambulance? Would you go with them?
The doctor asked again. Tom just kept looking at the floor. The doctor thought the questions might be too much and did not want to upset Tom. The doctor slowly got up and asked Shelia quietly to walk him to the front door.
I think Tom will have to go to the hospital. Do you think you can take him?
I don't know. Can you wait out here? I will try.
Shelia responded in a panic. Shelia walked back into the front room, and Tom was still sitting on the sofa, but continued looking at the floor. Shelia knelt beside Tom and looked at him concerned.
Tom? Tom? Listen, love, why don't we both go to the hospital? Let's find out what's going on.
Tom looked up.
Will you be there with me? I am so sick.
Yes, darling, the doctor is outside. We both want to see things get better. It won't be long.
Deep down, there was instant relief. Shelia did not want Tom to suffer at home. She was tired and scared. She wanted extra help at the hospital, and she knew there would be something that could change the situation. She just wondered if they could reach the hospital before anything went wrong.
Tom, can you do me a favor? I will bring your trousers and jacket. Are you okay to put those on?
Tom slowly got up.
Can you help me, please?
Okay, Tom, okay, I will help you.
Shelia rushed upstairs to look for Tom's clothes, and she was in such a hurry she picked up the first items she saw. The doctor was still out in the passage, looking at Shelia for any updates.
Just a moment, doctor. He has agreed to come to the hospital.
Okay, I am going to make a call to the hospital to explain the situation.
Thank you, doctor. I am a little scared, though.
Shelia stood there with Tom's clothes.
We could try for the ambulance if you want.
No?
Shelia rushed back into the front room. Tom was sitting back down on the sofa.
Here, please put these on. I will help you.
Tom stood back up and slowly reached for the clothes. He seemed very groggy and tired. Shelia did not bother to ask Tom to remove his pajamas, and she was worried that she thought Tom might change his mind any second. Tom struggled to get dressed as he struggled to pull up his trousers. Shelia, watching Tom, began to get upset. Her face became red, and she let out a whimper, but she had to be strong for the both of them.
Can you put on your jacket? While we walk to the car?
Tom did not answer, but he slowly put his jacket on, struggling to move. Here are your shoes, Tom. As they walked into the passage, Shelia noticed the doctor had already left. Shelia grabbed her bag and took Tom by the arm as they continued out the front door. Tom looked worried and panicked.
Oh no, is he out there?
Who, Tom, who?
I don't know, let's just hurry to the car, please. I don't want to be here.
Tom pleaded while looking down.
It's all right, Tom. Wait that side of the car. I will let you in.
Shelia almost ran to the driver's seat as she turned off the car alarm and jumped in and opened the passenger side. Tom jumped in as if he was hiding from something, and he nearly fell on Shelia because he was so tired.
Oh no.
Shelia thought as she gently pushed Tom upright and buckled Tom's seatbelt. Shelia was tired. She was exhausted. Thoughts were rushing through her mind. The hospital was 15 minutes away, but what would life be like from now on? Who would she speak to? What is going to happen at work? Was she prepared to provide care?